prioritize houses for the low income and medium income areas.
Start by thanking the organizers of this event for this very wonderful event, which it's our fourth year of participating, and believe me, it has been the best point of collaboration for us as a company so far. Because, I will insist that the services we provide is should be the starting point of any construction or building plan, which is energy. You know, we're a renewable energy company. Let me just quickly talk about our background. That's not what we're here to discuss. We're here to discuss collaboration, but I would like to quickly mention that we're one of the leading renewable energy companies in Nigeria that has been into the business of solar and power backup systems for the past 12 years. We started with small home system power backup solutions, and we've expanded quickly to establishing a factory which is situated in Kaduna, where we assemble local products, street lighting, small home systems, and other renewable energy couplings. Local energy is also has a training academy, because over time the product we offer is one of the most difficult products to sell or to market any day, anytime, because there's been so much failure of the technology at the onset, so people don't believe in solar technology. And I can tell you that, part of the failure is also largely because of the fact that the wrong people are engaged in providing, the services, which is the government, for example. This is not the business of the government. Government should stay behind and regulate the industry and allow the entrepreneurs to do the job. So I'll give you an example. Almost every village you go to in Nigeria, you see non-functional solar street lights or solar powered borehole systems. And everybody just have the impression or the idea that this technology does not work. But if you go deep down, you realize that the procurement process, the execution process, so many things are involved. So I won't talk much about that right now, but we have delivered so many successful projects across board, and I would like to highlight those that concerns the construction industry. Energy consumption, especially, for example, by solar water heaters alone, takes about 25% of electricity in our homes. 25% of electricity just for heating water. This is the same technology that, with the solar water heater, which smiles every day the sun comes out, you don't need to invest or lose that much money in heating water. But unfortunately, our construction industry haven't been paying much attention to energy efficient homes and energy efficient appliances as well as solar technology. But believe me, with the recent increase in electricity tariff, I've had a lot of developers knocking at my door, and I think it's a very good time for the collaboration to begin. Next slide. Next slide. I won't talk much about, I just have 5 minutes about the company, but basically I'm going to talk about solar-based turnkey projects that we've executed over the years across the residential, commercial, and industrial sectors. Next slide, please. So what you see here is a greenhouse in Guzape, which is a project that was executed since 2015, about 6 years now. The 10 apartments here have been running totally off the grid. Mr. Festus was there at the onset of this project to see for himself and also to do a small documentary on this project. We haven't spoken much about it because we've taken that 6 years as a learning time to discover all the challenges and all the different ways that we can collaborate and integrate our solutions with building the real estate industry. What you see by the side there is also the latest battery technology, which is the lithium-ion battery, which has about 5 years lifespan. At the 5th year, our batteries went down, one after the other, which is a very good timing for a lead-acid battery. And afterwards, we decided to go with the new lithium battery technology, which we are banking on 10 years of lifespan. So this project has been on for the past 15 years, and it has given us a lot of information and ideas on how we can integrate the solutions with the real estate. Next slide, please. Now, this is another private residence in FR Metropolis. This was just developed or commissioned last year. Every lighting you've seen on that building and all the appliances are totally powered on our solution. The inverters you've seen there are locally assembled inverter systems from Kaduna. And we also don't just install, because we discovered that most of the time people, are scared of investing in our technology because they're afraid of what usually happens. Afterwards, 1 year down the line, your system breaks down, and you call the installer, he's nowhere to be found on the phone. So we back up our installations with 4 years, 1 year or 2 years warranty, depending on the product you buy from the onset, and another 2 to 3 years of after-sales support. So next slide, please. So this is another project in the making. It's called the Greenhouse 2 in Buzape, where we are now trying to develop or to prove that we can actually power luxury homes totally off the grids. This building has about 19 air conditioners that are totally running on the solar solution that are installed. It's not yet completed, but as you can see, each and every light in there is on solar. We don't even have a grid line or a generator on that side. Next slide, please. So you can see that the structure there. You can see different banks of solar PVs at the entrance carport, 2 other carports in the house, and a few other available spaces. You can also see that the entire rooftop is still not yet in use. We're reserving that hopefully to sell power to the next door neighbors once they're ready to afford power. Next slide. So that's another project in Yola. That's a mansionette which has about 22 air conditioners. It's also entirely powered on solar. This is one of our projects which was delivered since 2019. Next slide. So this is also another project in Buzape which was delivered since 2015, and the apartment is actually a hybrid system running on about 60 numbers of solar PVs, which powers most of the critical loads in the house. Next. So this is another private residence in Zaria that has been running since 2018 on solar solutions. So to cut it short, next slide, we've actually powered over 2,000 housing, small and medium housing across the country in the past 10 years of doing business, and we're still maintaining most of these solutions. That's a shopping mall also. It doesn't just stop on housing. We powered a couple of shopping malls, like you can see on the slide. That's a shopping mall in Maraba, which also runs entirely on our solar. This is a Sterling Bank headquarters annex in Ilupeju. It's been running on our solar solution since 2016, and solar-powered billboards as well. So I just ran these few slides to let us know that it is already working and it's already in use in lots of places. But unfortunately, the real estate sector is not paying enough attention to renewable energy and power backup solutions. The reason for that is everybody is struggling to sell at the minimum price. What we fail to realize that the cost of power, over the first 10 to 15 years, if we're actually going to pay for the cost of energy, is over 10% of the cost of the property we're developing or we're selling. And a lot of times the amount of money we spend on diesel, especially where we try to combine diesel and grid, which is hardly ever available, in some cases shoots our energy cost to over 100 naira per kilowatt hour. So I think it's a good time for us to begin full collaboration with renewable energy practitioners to see how, even if we don't have the cost, the funding to integrate these solutions at the point of construction, we should be able to work together to establish the required infrastructure, that will be required for us to engage the solar solutions on the long run. For example, I've come across so many clients who are interested in deploying solar water heaters on their buildings. But unfortunately, because it was not captured and integrated during the design in the M&E, it becomes very difficult to start cracking walls, breaking tires, and trying to integrate or even providing the support structure that can carry those water heaters. So this calls for a very serious collaboration. Sometimes we've also had situations where people want to put solar on the rooftop, but they didn't envisage that they will use or put solar panels, so they didn't go for the appropriate gauge of the roofing sheet, or perhaps even go for a concrete deck. So these are all areas where we need to work together with the developers to see how we can, provide the basic infrastructures that we can leverage on when it is actually, or whenever we're interested or we can afford to. Now I'm going to talk about the applications of renewable energy solutions, affordability, and then what's new. I think I'll quickly run over this, running out of time, and what are the challenges. Please, next slide. So in terms of applications, next slide please. Like I mentioned earlier, we have the solar water heating solutions, we have the solar inverter solutions, which could be either hybrid or standalone. We also have solar street lights and gardening lighting solutions. With these solutions, you're able to take off your entire cost of running perimeter lightings and even estate lightings of your, generator cost or grid cost. And we also have the solar water pumping solution, which reduces your cost a lot. If you're able to use solar pumps to pump water from underground to overhead tanks and use gravity to, circulate your water, you save a lot of water from solar pumps, from pressure pumps in your houses as well. So next slide. Now, affordability and cost benefits. From the research and from the project we've run over the years, especially the greenhouse, we've come to discover that the adopting solar solutions, if you can take a 5 years time or period, is actually 40% cheaper than a combination of diesel and grid. And that is even going to go up higher with the increasing tariff, electricity tariff and the cost of diesel. Then from 400,000 naira, you can actually afford a convenient backup that keeps your house lit up and at least affords you TVs and fans in the house. So people usually think that you have to be, it's a multi-million naira solution. You actually can cut it according to your size as well. And there are also financing options available now, so it doesn't really have to be that solution where you must have the full cash. Next slide, please. So financing options, improved products and technology, and then improved technical know-how and engineering. This have also changed the skills. So the challenges are actually high capex. Most people can't afford to bring out all the funds in one go, so there are financing options that are taking care of that now. Then high failure rates, which I just explained, part of the reason that it's not the technology itself, but it's the product and the people that are actually integrating it. Access to financing has always been a challenge, but you can see that there's been a lot of effort from the federal government and from some, development banks like the African Development Bank. The World Bank is also funding a lot of renewable energy projects right now. And I think finally, maintenance and after-sales support has been one of the reasons why these solutions have hardly worked. Next slide, please. So, what is the future of this industry and how does it accommodate, or what's the opportunity for us to collaborate with the real estate sector? We have the power as a service, power purchase agreement, and lease to own. What power as a service means is if you want the solution and you don't even have the funding, we could actually come and deploy the solution, put in our meters, and then get you to pay as according to your usage. Power purchase agreement is that solution where I can actually set up the solution and agree on a repayment plan, which takes up that capex issue. And then the lease to own means I can deploy the solution and then give you a payment plan or a payment time. So this is the future to resolve renewable energy. For example, we actually had to go into developing because we couldn't even get development partners or real estate partners that are willing to test or explore our solutions. And we set up that greenhouse exactly 5 years ago. But believe me, since we set up that 10 apartments, the moment a tenant moves out, it doesn't take 1 week before another person moves in because electricity is guaranteed. And I think it's one of the things that we must not, we must always put into our building plans and decisions from the onset. Thank you very much. said, I think on Friday by 6 p.m. to 6:30, will be an excursion visit to see live solutions of some of the issues shown here at Mozambique. We have also exhibiting here, so from the stand you can get more information. Thank you.
Basically, what we're telling them is prioritize houses for the low income and medium income rents.